What's up, nerds and nerdettes, and we the nerdlings all? Once again, it's your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, here I am! Been trying to do something a little bit different than I'm back. You know, let me know how this feels with you. Maybe you want me to go back to just saying, I am back! Or maybe you like what I'm playing around with. Alright, so me and 20-sided warrior Alex, we just finished playing this game called Arena the Contest. We just did a cooperative mission through the game, and you know what we like to do with 20-sided shots is a first impression. Usually we like to do the straight out of the box style first impression. You know, this is what it's going to feel like to you when you pull this game out of the box and start playing it right away for the very first time. So now we finished. I'm going to have Alex. Woohoo! What's up, buddy?
Hey.
I'm going to be talking to Alex about the game, and then in a week or so, after I get some more games of this, maybe some solo stuff, I will do a full product review for this.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we were just playing this game. We were just running everything. And I don't know. I kind of thought it was. I thought it was good. I liked the whole fantasy combat feel system to it.
Yeah.
What were some of your thoughts? Pros, con?
I thought it was, if you've played games with similar combat before, RPGs or other, I guess tactical combat games, the mechanics are going to come pretty easy. I mean, I started off with the quick start guide and then just kind of looked in the rules for what we needed to keep going. We didn't read the whole rule book. I didn't. I don't think John did either.
No, not for this. For this first quick one, it's the rule book's a little bit big, but it's not bigger than you would expect for an epic style game like this.
No, it's not. And I mean, I think it's pretty good when you can get in with a 6-page quick start and then reading the pages you need out of the rule book, which is another,
And of course, these cheat cards.
Yeah,
they kind of helped.
They helped a lot. I mean, I was looking for I saw the conditions. I'm like, I'm going to look in the rule book, and then sure enough, they're right on the back.
Right on the back.
Cheat cards.
That's how I blurted it out so fast.
Yeah, I mean that's great.
Now, also, we want to point out that this is just a preview copy.
Right.
This is not what is being sold component-wise on Kickstarter.
Right.
There are going to be actual minis that, they have this is some better light here, maybe. I mean, this is what the mini is going to look like. And that's pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And if you go on their website or their Kickstarter page, which will be up Tuesday, the 27th of March, you'll be able to see all that. I just wanted to say that up front. Anyone that's seeing this is like, wow, that looks like an 8-year-old. I'm not dissing it. This is good quality for a review, but no, this is not
the final.
No.
Final, yeah. And another thing to keep in mind is right here we have all these little minis. There's also going to be a boss mini. I believe it's a giant dragon.
Yes, it is
what comes with it. So you're going to get some standard minis, and then you're going to get a big mini, which is cool.
Now, as far as the game mechanics,
it flowed pretty well. I mean, combat went pretty quickly. I feel like for this type of game. Very straightforward on the cards. You have the reusable attacks, and then you have the once per mission attacks, and you get two of each. So it flows really well. It's really well laid out. The graphic design is great on these cards. It's great in the rule book. I know we talked about in the 20-sided shots, or not in the 20-sided, in the playthrough. The iconography is good. It's consistent, which is always good when it's consistent. Layout is great. I like these cards, again, laid out, broken up really well with the power cards here, where everything's broken up. You have the range, you have number of targets, you have the damage, and then you have the effects, and it's all broken up visually, both where it's laid out on the card and with the little lines between it, which I love when they think about that. So that's fantastic to me, and that's just the review copy.
Now, as a really quick thought, I also really like. Hold that up. Yeah. Hold that up, right? If I can get in close, I want to make sure this is in focus. Something I don't really recall seeing in other games like this, and that is the passive abilities that these characters all have.
Yeah, and that's really cool. It adds a lot more variety and a lot more to think about when you're choosing your character, because there's a lot of synergy with your passive abilities, and those are going to happen potentially every turn. Like the witch. Whenever she hits a target, the first time she hits a target on a turn, she gets to do more damage to an enemy that's near her.
And the werewolf I was playing did the same thing.
Yeah, so you have characters like that. You have characters like the tank, who enemies that start near her get a penalty to hit if they attack anyone but her. So it's great that the powers, it adds another aspect to it. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've played a few different games similar to this, Descent, Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, they're
Imperial Assault.
Going way back, Hero Quest.
Yeah, I loved that game.
And this kind of reminds me, when I was looking at it to start with, I was kind of like, man, this kind of gets me a little bit of a Hero Quest vibe. But
I was also
Hero Quest.
I was also thinking the Dungeons and Dragons Fantasy Adventure board game. The Parker brothers came out with for the around the time, was it 3.5 or no? I think it was just 3.0. Yeah. It came out again. Yeah, same thing. Hero Quest feel. So it was very familiar to us gamers.
Yeah, yes, and that made it great to pick up quickly. I think even if you're unfamiliar with this type of game, it's going to take you longer to dive into. You're going to need to read the whole rulebook before you do it, I think. But even then, it's not going to be too bad, and this is a good way to dive into it for the first time, I think, a game like this.
And there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
As far as playing it.
Player versus player, which is cool. Teams of 3v3 or 4v4, which is cool. It'd be fun to try that out, see how it works, because all the heroes have different powers, so it'd be interesting to see how they fight against each other. And then, like we did, just a one-off quest or the campaign mode. And I think the campaign mode, I'm interested to see the difference between the campaign mode missions and the quests, because it sounds like, I'm not sure, but it sounds like there's going to be two different books for the quests versus the standalone quest for PvE versus the whole mission guide for the campaigns. So that's going to be cool to see. I liked the mechanics of the enemies. They have a AI that's a basic AI that makes them take actions, and then they also have these evil power cards, which changes up the AI and gives them bonuses and the players penalties. So it's something.
Yeah, I was not digging those cards. From the hero's point of view, not from a gamer's point of view.
From a hero point of view, it's like, oh man, every turn they get a new one of these, and I don't know what it's going to be. Like, but I love it. Makes them different every turn. Makes it so that you can't metagame it too much. Like, we were positioning thinking, well, my Amazon's going to get nailed by this guy. But that's perfect. She's a tank. That's what she's there for. Sure enough, target range. And so just runs right through, ignoring reaction attacks from us, and just slammed our ranged attackers. So I love it. Keeps things fresh. Our mission also, I love that there's like this special thing going on where there's a time clock, because you get pounded every turn. And each of the events, we read about them. Each of them are different. So there's a lot of variety within the mission. It's not just go from room to room, killing monsters.
So how would you sum up your experience, how you feel about this first game fresh out of the box?
First game fresh out of the box. I really enjoyed this. I think there's a lot of variety within each game. As I said, the different rooms have triggered different events, and it's a random one. It's not just the same one each room. So there's variety within the mission. I imagine there's going to be variety between different missions. And then there's different options to play, PvE, PvP. You can play long campaigns or you can play one-offs. So there's a lot of flexibility that this game seems to offer.
How do you feel about moving forward? How much are you anticipating or not anticipating?
I am anticipating this a lot. I would love to play a few missions of a campaign, because I think once you get a few in, you're going to really find out, what the longevity of it is. But I would be surprised if this doesn't have great replayability. So you think this is a good game? I think this is a good game.
You think this game is worthy of backing on Kickstarter?
Definitely. Our group's going to back it, I think, somebody here. So, yeah, it's great.
All right, very cool. Let me see that rule book.
The rule book.
Yeah, throw that down in the center. All right, my nerd herd. Again, just trying to change things up a little bit. That was a first impression, straight out of the box review of Arena the Contest. This game's going on Kickstarter March 27th, Tuesday. And our first impression of this game, wow. All right, my friends, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and as you know,